Hi everybody. So this is week 4, and what we're doing in this assignment is we're revisiting 1 and 2 point perspective, or 1 or 2 point. You can choose which one you want to revisit. And you're going to be using the template and developing an interior scene using the method we learned back in week 1 and week 2 for developing your perspective. And the things that we're adding to this particular assignment is we're adding the ellipse. So we're learning how to draw in an ellipse um, using an inscribing method, which is very similar to how we worked with the roof of the house, in the sense that you just kind of create a constructed box um, effect around where your ellipse is, and then you use that to just to kind of get the circle more in perspective. We're adding a scaled figure, and then we're adding cast shadows. So those are the 3 new things that we're adding. But hopefully the 1 or 2 point perspective will be familiar to you, and maybe you needed a little refresher back in that week. That's good if you needed to just review it again. And then what we're going to do with this particular assignment is we're going to develop it with some rendering or some shading in the next assignment. So we're going to build upon it. The reason why we're doing this is that this is in preparation for what we're going to do in the final assignment, where you're going to develop your own composition. You're going to add cast shadows, an ellipse, a scaled figure, and then you're going to shade it. So really, this is just essentially what we're doing in the final, with just a little bit of help through the use of the template. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with, let's see here. Okay, Ramsey. So what I did is, I'm in Photoshop now, and I actually just did, I turned it to grayscale, and I did an auto contrast on it back from week 1, just to make it a little bit easier to see. Just, I would keep an eye on your presentation, make sure you've got a lot of light in the room wherever you're taking your photograph, so that you get as much detail as possible. Then you can Photoshop it. Okay, so it looks like you did not use the template, and that's actually okay. I don't mind if you don't use the template. We'll talk about a few things you can do with it in a minute to bring it a little bit closer to the template. But you've got a 2 point perspective here with a lot of detail. I really like your composition, and you've got your scale figure, which is awesome. So what you want to add here is the cast shadows. If you do have them, I can't see them clearly enough, so you want to maybe draw those lines in a little bit more. And if you don't have them yet, what you can do is take a look at, let's see, I've got the template open here. Here's the 2 point perspective template. So you can choose and add this to your drawing, either this set of light source and vanishing point, shadow vanishing point, or this one. So you can just draw that in. And yours is reversed in your drawing in terms of your so you could put it here or here, just kind of copy where it is in the mirror image. Um, the other thing that you'll want to do is you want to add in your scale at the bottom here, the squares. So if you open the template, you can see, you can put that in the drawing below it. And then frame your drawing, just kind of follow along here with the template and add those things in. I think your construction of your 2 point looks quite accurate, so I think you should be able to do that without having to redraw it. Okay, so those are the main things. There's a really good tutorial in the assignment directions on how to work with the cast shadows, and there also is a lot of really good tutorials in the learning materials on working with the cast shadows that you can follow along with. Jesus, let me just auto color it. And I'm just doing this so I can see it a little bit more. This is something you want to do yourself. Okay, all right, so you're doing 1 point perspective, and overall I think this is looking pretty good. I think it's quite accurate. You've got your scaled figure and your ellipse, which looks really good. In terms of the composition, I think it's really coming along. I might, maybe consider, think about any additional spaces you have. Like this wall back here, maybe you could add a few little pictures here, or a little door going to another room. Just something to you've got this great canvas, blank canvas there that you could work with. But I like what you've done on the left and the right and the sofa and the fireplace too. Um, so it looks like you have chosen your light source to be this one right here because you're starting to cast a shadow here. So I would just, make this light source into something that looks like a light. It can be super simple, like just a little globe on top with a little like stand on it, just a light bulb. It doesn't have to be fancy. You just want to indicate it in your drawing to make it look more realistic. I think you've got a good start here with your cast shadows. You're thinking about where it's going to be. Something before you begin your cast shadows that can be helpful is to just frame your composition a little bit more. It'll help when we start drawing it. So for example, you can just like draw a line here to end your composition, and it looks like it's going up to the ceiling here, but just kind of frame it here on the sides. Maybe end it right there too. There we go. So that helps you know where your shadows are going to be cut off. So for this guy, what's going to happen through his feet, if we take the shadow vanishing point, it's going to go through his feet on the floor. So I'm drawing it through the sides of his feet. So it's actually going to kind of go more like that. Um, and it doesn't necessarily, and you can see that it's not really, is it going to hit the wall? It depends where you end this wall. If you want to end it a little bit, in here, like your composition, it's actually not going to travel up the wall like the tutorial does. So then you would just have a little bit of that cast shadow here, maybe representing his legs. So you'd kind of shade his legs kind of coming out and sort of fade it out as you go through. The only other area here I think you need a cast shadow is for your sofa. And what you would do is you'd start with the shadow vanishing point at the bottom, right down here again, and you'd go through the bottom of these 3 points, just like the tutorial does. Um, and so if we're going to end it right here, then the only thing we really need to worry about is the shadow that's going to come off. It's going to be casting onto this area. So we just want to, I'm going to start with the direction from the bottom, just like the tutorial. So it's going to go directly, and then where's it going to end? Well, we draw it through the top here of this point. So we would just start at the top from the light source and cast downwards. And so here is where this is our first point, and then you would just, on your own, you can cast this point, and it's going to come off down here somewhere, and that's okay. And then you would join up this point to wherever it ends. Well, let's just do that here together. So let's start at the bottom. I'm going to cast downwards. It's going to go down far, and then the light source is going to hit up from the top, and it's going to go through the top point here. So here's where the bottom was, here's the top. We're going to throw it down here, and you can see that it's going to meet way down here. So we know then that this shadow here is just going to kind of, so we're going to just visualize it. And so this is our first cast shadow of our sofa. Okay. Now it's also going to cast a shadow along the wall here at the back. And for that one, it's very simple. You just take the light source and then you angle it to hit the top of where, and then so it's going to then be shaded in right here. Okay. So something else you can do here to practice cast shadows, I really recommend people do this in their drawings, is, set up another, like maybe a little, a tiny little box here. It doesn't matter what it is, just some kind of little box. It can be a little side table, like in an open space, and then you can cast shadows. It's easier to cast a shadow in the middle of a room when you have all of the sides around it open than it is to try to cast it along a wall. So that's just a kind of a trick to learn it. And you can also just print out a few more of these templates and then set up some nice cubes somewhere and just practice casting the shadows until you feel comfortable doing it. Because it is just a process, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Lauren, okay, hold on just a sec. Let me get this into. Okay, so yeah, so you've got your 2-point perspective. And your ellipse, which is good. Your scale figure may be a wee bit tall. You might want to double check that again. Make it just a little bit shorter. and you want to add your cast shadows. So since you followed along the tutorial, looking pretty closely to the tutorial, I think you should just follow with the tutorial on how to create that. And just like I mentioned previously, you may want to add some elements on the floor, like simple boxes that you could cast shadows from to practice that a little bit more. But I think that's the main thing, is your cast shadows. Um, you could develop the composition a little bit more. It feels just a little bit simplistic at this point. Maybe you could add some more elements on the walls or on the floor. Um, Watch your guidelines, don't get a little too dark. You always want to be darkening the edges of your shapes and keeping your guidelines a little lighter. With yours, what I might consider doing is just printing out your template again and just working on it um, from scratch, now that you have a sense of the composition you're working with, and then just fill it in a little bit more. And again, add your cast shadows. I think that, again, that's the most important thing. Rebecca. Um, okay, yeah, I think your cast shadows turned out quite well. It looks like you were following the tutorial. And you have an ellipse and a scale figure. Now just remember, the scale figure is also going to have a cast shadow, and you can use the tutorial for creating it. What did you mention in there? Let's see. I think I'll try again. Yeah, I would actually. I'd recommend starting again with this, just because I really do think that a lot of the times, um, your first draft can be improved upon. And so in your case, I love what you're doing with the walls. I might just kind of veer off in the tutorial a little bit and kind of maybe do your own thing a little bit more. Um, just so that you can really get it. I find that when students stick too closely to the tutorial, um, then they don't quite get all of the concepts because you're following the tutorial along too carefully. So it's good I think it's great to do it once, but then maybe now start again and maybe just put the sofa in a different position, maybe add some tables. I love what you've done with the walls. I think that's great. Keep that. Um, Okay, so I think you're definitely on the right track here. Yeah, I think that the cast shadow concept is hard for everybody. Even now, um, it takes me a while to work on my cast shadows just because, things are there's a lot of points to work with and figure out. And I find that and this is just a good general tip, is to try to really imagine the light source as it flows through the room, like kind of visualize it, and then use the points together with um, what you know to be true of reality. And I actually will like sort of look in a room and maybe find a light source that matches what I'm drawing, and kind of maybe have one window open or one light on so that I can sort of just see how it works and use that information in my drawing. Um, Okay, yeah, I like your composition. It's very detailed. Your bedroom scene got a lot of great detail here in 2-point perspective, all of the requirements. And this is your light source right here, it looks to be. And okay, right off here. Yeah, that looks really good. So all of that's your direction. Yeah, that looks really good. And then, yeah, and then it's going to be, oops, not from there. And then so it's going to be cast along. Let me get this right here. Right here, good. Yeah, and then your figure, yeah, it all looks good. And I don't think your figure looks to me like the focal point. I think that what you've done here with your figure is good, is that you've just kept it more of like a kind of a shape, like a form, a three-dimensional form. I think if you do that, um, even if your figure is in the center of the room, it's not going to take over because it won't have a lot of detail. So I think it's a very good way of doing that. I think you're right on the right track here. And so I only have one very small suggestion, is to maybe make your light source here into just some kind of small light source. You could just put like a little light bulb or a globe there. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be something very discreet, just to indicate that that is a light source. Um, okay, good job. Yeah, definitely rough drafts. It's great to submit a rough draft, even if it's not completed. So yeah, I would just complete this, add all of the required elements, like you want to have your scaled figure in here. Um, and you want to have your cast shadows. I would just double check this window right here. You have here, it doesn't look like it's vanishing to your vanishing point on the left here, so double check that, and also the little blinds on here. Um, you're going to choose, so you've chosen this side as your light source, so again, you're going to cast all your shadows from that. And I would just practice a little bit more. It looks like this is a good rough draft where you partially followed the tutorial. I would complete it with the tutorial, and then maybe just, either add some of your own details to this or start a new one with a more unique composition, creative composition. Um, maybe move the sofa or put chairs in instead, or add some coffee tables, or, a bookshelf, or, think of all the different items that you can use, that you can create, so that you can really practice developing your own idea for the assignment, which I think is always, really, really helpful in helping you grasp and practice the perspective concepts. But following the tutorial and doing the tutorial as the woman demonstrates it in the tutorial is a very good preliminary exercise. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. It actually looks like you submitted 2 drawings, which is great, a 1 point and a 2 point. So I don't know if you knew you just decided to do 2 of them, but well, this is really cool. Very nice. Let's just look and see. Both of these are really good. I would say, for the sake of doing cast shadows, that this one right here, the 2 point, is going to be, I don't know if easier, but it's going to give you more cast shadows, more clear cast shadows. So this is the one I'd probably recommend using. And all you need to do for this one to meet the requirements is add in an ellipse somewhere. You could, maybe put something on the wall back here, or you could change this rug into an ellipse, and then a scale figure that you could put somewhere. You could put the scale figure back here in the corner. You got some space there that you could put it in. And then otherwise, I think your perspective is very accurate. Nice job with it. Very kind of clean, accurate drawing. That's what I like to see in perspective. And then I would just be a little bit more, looks like you're using this as your light source, so maybe make this into a light source, make it into a little lamp or something like that, so that we know what that is. And then just use this to really start more accurately plotting in your cast shadows. Like along the wall, we're going to have a cast shadow that is cast from this edge here of the, you could probably have a cast shadow behind this TV. I might skip it for now. But then cast all the shadows down here. Looks like you've done, so you've got that one. That looks good. So I would just plot the end of this guy here. So you've started the cast shadow here. Where is it going to end? Just make kind of a line, more just to kind of just draw a guideline there. So it's going to come out from the bottom. Here's the bottom points, right, like so, and then it's going to come down. Let's just use this point right here, something like that. So somewhere behind there, and then on the top it's going to sort of, so yeah, so actually, yeah, I think that's where you've got it. You know what, just ignore what I said. I actually do think you've got it accurately placed in there. I just didn't see that edge. And the one down here looks really good too. So yeah, so your cast shadows to me look done. And all you really need to do is your ellipse and your scale figure here. Okay, nice job.